Coach, your messaging has been very clear and concise to your team all season long. What did you tell them today as you approach the offseason?
I think the first thing was just, our appreciation for them and in taking heed to what it was that we're trying to establish here. We can't say, everybody didn't buy in. They did, man. So just appreciation for their sacrifice, but also living in the reality that we didn't accomplish what we wanted. And, as they go into their off season and train, to think about, things that we can work on as individuals, players, staff included, to not be having this kind of conversation today. So, but mostly just appreciation for what it was that they sacrificed for us as an organization.
The level of care for teammate, for organization was very evident right to the last player in that locker room today. How long should this sting for before you move ahead?
I think everybody's journey from that standpoint will be a little bit different. Some guys can flush it fast and just continue to push on right away. Some guys it's just going to sting a little bit longer. Everybody's different, so you respect that. But at this time, I just want these guys to get back to their families and their loved ones and show love there, because that's huge sacrifice as well. This is their families for allowing these guys to chase something together. So I don't know. It's going to sting for guys for a little bit, but at some point, life goes on, and we will push to be a better version of who we were.
Jamie?
Corey, what do you learn? I know it's fresh, less than 24 hours, but what do you learn as coach and coordinator about what it's going to take to get over the next hurdle to get to a Grey Cup? As a head coach, you beat the Bombers as a defensive coordinator, of course, but as a head coach.
Yeah, I think, reflecting and watching the game, it's weird. There was sometimes I was maybe too aggressive when, you could think about not being, and then there was other times where I maybe wasn't aggressive enough when I could have been. Hindsight's always 20/20 from that standpoint. But, it's a win or go home kind of game. There's definitely lots of things I looked at and been thinking about nonstop since last night that I'll keep in my hip pocket as we move forward. But, it wasn't just last night, man. I learned a lot having this role for this team. And to be quite honest with you, Jamie, even if it turned out that we're talking next week and we're all happy, there still would have been a lot of the same things I'd be thinking about, just trying to be better for the guys regardless. So grateful as ever for the experience and the trust, and having the opportunity and the trust and the belief from the guys. But yeah, I'm certainly not excluded from everybody else to find ways to be better.
On that strategy note, when to go, when not to go, what has this been like to kind of, you didn't know what you didn't know before going into this season, so what are some of those things you take away from this season?
Yeah, I think really just trust your gut on a lot of stuff. There was a bunch of times this season where, I watch the tape and for a lack of a better term, I just kind of MF myself, like, man, just trust it, But on the flip side, there was some times where I trusted. It was like, maybe just think a little bit smarter too. So, for myself, I'll go back and rewatch the whole season and really try to put myself in those situations in real time again, to make better educated decisions. But ultimately, it will be my call, and I have to make the right one for the team always. So, there was lots.
Jake?
Coach, I know the loss is still fresh and all that, but just how excited are you for the future of this team, and what's that process like moving forward now when you're going into your second year as head coach? Like, how long do you process this and before you kind of move on and start building for next year?
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously as an organization, there's going to be a lot of conversations we're going to have, as it pertains to roster and stuff like that, which, the staff, Jo, myself, obviously, we'll push forward with that here in the coming days to get started on that. But, right now it's just going to be about love, appreciation, celebration. I don't want to take away or discredit, anything that this team was able to accomplish. What I would hope that Rider Nation saw this year was exactly, what we wanted to present was we were going to work our asses off. We weren't going to quit, and we were going to play hard as hell. And I hope that showed. But as we look to the future, it is exciting. Hard to get excited about it right now, to be honest with you, Jacob, but it's very exciting to know the stability of the foundation that's been set in place in the first year.
Obviously, the plethora of guys on this team you can mention and shout out, but obviously just talking to Trevor before you, just talk about what he meant to this team this year as not only a player but a leader, and then obviously it's future maybe up in the air. Don't want to talk about that, but yeah, just what he means to this franchise.
I would advise anybody who's looking to become a head coach for the first time to have Trevor Harris as your quarterback. Outstanding from what he's been able to bring from a playing standpoint, no doubt. But truthfully, what he's been able to provide for myself as a first-time coach, the leadership he provides in the room, what he was able to do, honestly, to even help the transition of Mueller being a first-time play caller. Excellent, man. Extremely grateful for Trevor and everything that he's brought to this team. How he approaches each day to set the tone as an example of what it looks like to be a professional and being able to play at a high level for as long as he has. How he practices. I mean, he does everything the right way. It was really a heavy reason why I thought this job was going to be awesome. Was just everything I'd heard about the guy was exciting. Got here and I found out what I heard was incorrect. He's much better. So it was awesome.
Corey, does your past in the CFL help you put this into context a bit? I mean, you won in 2014 in Calgary, but there were a lot of years leading up to it where in Calgary you had this type of day. Is it just part of the evolution?
I hope so. From 2010 till 2018, Calgary, it was the expectation of, hey, it's cup or nothing. We weren't even excited about playing in a West Final. That was the expectation. I think what we're building here, expectation-wise, is why you see so many people extremely upset. Is while we were grateful to be in the position that we were in, there was so many different things that happened this year, where the stories could be completely different. Yet, playing in the game last night, that was certainly the expectation of what we set out for, and we wanted much more. What we found out is, we got some work to do still, and I can certainly go back to and pull from, 2010, 2012. Those years were monumental in strengthening the idea of what it looks like for a team to not be satisfied with really anything other than the ultimate goal. So I hope that this is what we take from it, and not to say that it's just easy to get there, because it's hard as hell to get to the point that we got to, but the expectation of it really goes into everything you do every day from here on out. So, yeah, I hope that that's the case.
With everything that you and Aunt Petra and your family have experienced as far as immersing yourself in this community, as well as immersing yourself in your vocation, what would you like to say to your fellow residents of Saskatchewan, of Rider Nation?
Yeah, we love you. Man, yeah, I could get a little emotional about that. It's a lot for a coach to pick up and pull their family from city to city. You just hope that you can find something that feels like home. This is that. The community has been outstanding with myself and my family. My wife loves it here. My kids love their schools. They love their daycares. They love their friends. You know, people always used to tell me, hey, you know, Regina, hey, be tough in Saskatchewan. Oh, how was grocery shopping? You guys lost. Never had one bad experience, even in the stretch where we don't like to really talk about. People were outstanding and communicating because I think people saw what we were trying to get accomplished and how the team was playing. We love it here. Man, we want to be here for as long as freaking possible. And I look forward to having an off season here and really immersing our family into the community. I would have honestly liked to do a lot more, but I quickly realized I don't have as much time as I used to. Have. But we're looking forward to spending even more time in the community and just being that, man, just being a part of the community. That's all we want to be. We just want to be one of Rider Nation. That's it.
Coach, as someone who's been a part of championship teams as a player and a coach in multiple organizations, how close was this team to getting to that level?
Yeah, great question, man. Honestly, it's tough because I got to tell you, we had a good week of practice last week. We went into the game confident. We're clear that's not enough. But in saying so, I do think that we're close to building something very special here. What I can honestly say in my experience with the other teams that I've been fortunate enough to have that success, you know, when I went to Calgary in 2010, truthfully, that regime started in 2008, so I missed really the first two and a half years. But as a newcomer in 2010, halfway through the year, it was evident of how people operated, what the culture was set into place. In Toronto, I got there the second year, I believe, you know, that Dinwiddie had already started, and, you know, we continued to build on that. What we were able to do here in year one, very special. And I honestly think it's only going to get better from here. So excited about that. I think we have the foundation that we need to push forward to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish as an organization, and ultimately accomplish for the province.
Obviously, it wasn't how you wanted to end the season, but are you able to now look back and see all you've accomplished as a first-year head coach of this organization and starting from the ground up? No,
not yet. Still just licking wounds a little bit, you know. Yeah, at some point, my wife will tell you I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. I think that's probably going to be when I'm old, like Rob, and I retire or something. When I'm old, you know, I'll look back on all the stuff, man. But I just try to live in present moment always, and present moment right now is just disappointment, unfortunately. So, but you know, we're gonna have a team building event tonight, and you know, maybe, you know, that'll be a good time to kind of reflect then. But I'm just so disappointed for the guys and everybody. You guys included, man. I wish it was a happier conversation.
Taylor, and then Jamie, and then I'll
Corey, in terms of taking the next step, I feel like you just said the pieces are here. So is it just a matter of everybody then taking that accountability into the offseason to improve themselves, or do you feel like there are certain aspects of this team that you need to improve on through free agency or whatever it may be?
Yeah, I mean, that's inevitable, right? I'm sure there's going to be guys we're going to add in free agency, and unfortunately in this business, not the locker room's never exactly the same. But I think as a foundational point and the core of the roster, it's strong, man. But we'll always look to find pieces that we feel will make the team better. And then as you look at the guys that would be returning, yeah, we ask everybody to level up, so to speak. And again, that's myself and the staff, everybody that's involved with this, to just be better, because we have to be. That's it.
Trevor talked a little bit about the uncertainty of his future. He expressed he wanted to be back. Many other leaders in the locker room did as well. What does the conversation with Trevor look like as you go into the offseason?
Yeah, we'll have that, I'm sure, in the coming days. I think it's very obvious that he can play, but we'll have that conversation. I haven't sat down with Trevor to have that kind of conversation yet. We've had multiple other ones, just about how much we appreciate each other, and but yeah, we'll have that conversation. But I think it is evident that he can still be a highly functioning quarterback in this league. Yeah.
How important is that conversation with this? Or Trevor said it's going to be a tough conversation either way. He knows his age, he knows his injury history. He's been around, but how important will that conversation be with you and Jeremy and Mark and everybody on what is the right quarterback for this team moving forward?
Yeah, I think when we talk about that position, it's an extremely important conversation. And, even coming into this year, man, we had long conversations about it. And I don't expect anything to be different. It's just, it's hard to win in this league without someone that can get the job done back there at that position. But, we'll take our time and do our due diligence the right way as we would any year. But yeah, that's always an important conversation.
When you think of this core, Milligan, Revis, Ferlin, Shaperbaker, Emelis, Olep, they're all under contract. Well, when you look to 2025 a little bit already, how important will those pieces be for the success? And you talk about build it on brick 2. A lot of guys said that was brick 1. This brick 2 will be next year.
Yeah. When you look at like the guys that were carryover from last season to this season, I think a lot of guys up their level of play. Oh man, I could get emotional on that. Just talk about how proud I am of a lot of those guys. And even some of our free agent signings, the importance of what they meant to this team and building what we were trying to accomplish here. Yeah, the core is very strong, and it's not even just like what everybody sees on game day, because that obviously speaks to itself, but just everything that they bring to an organization, to a locker room. Having the conversations with guys who've been here for a while, and just hearing the thought of how things have changed here. I think we're headed in the right direction, and to keep to have those guys as core pieces, we're very fortunate. So no, it was tremendous. It was tremendous the new guys we added, and it was tremendous the guys that were carried over that leveled up for us. So yeah, it's exciting for year 2.